A great pleasure now to introduce our guest speaker for today. I'm sure that you all know her. She's been here countless times. So if you could all give a big hand to Reverend Jessica Fish.
Wow. Boy, you guys have everything you need up here. Beautiful to hear the Spirit singing through you, and you, and you, and you. Wow. Wow. I'm always grateful to be asked to speak up here because this is the center of light up in the Antelope Valley. And I just really appreciate being here. You can really feel how we're all in agreement in love. So thank you for letting me be here. So in practitioner training, we read what I think is the Science of Mind book on what ails, on healing what ails the body. It's called Mind Over Medicine, and it's by Lissa Rankins. The book recognizes our body's innate ability to self-repair, and it documents medical study after medical study on how we control these self-healing mechanisms in our body through the power of mind. Every one of our thoughts and emotions causes instantaneous cascade of hundreds, if not thousands, of neuropeptides and hormones that orchestrate a symphony of positive and negative effects within the body. That's why it's so important to pay attention to the thoughts and emotions that are running through our minds. Yeah. So one big takeaway that I got from that book is that our body's natural self-repair mechanism can only work in a relaxed state. We have to be relaxed to heal. Now in Science of Mind, healing is the revelation of recognizing that God is all there is, that we're living God's life. And it is our mind that creates this relaxed state. So I had a direct experience of this recently when I was in the emergency room because I sliced my hand trying to remove the avocado pit from an avocado. This is the second time I've done this in a year. All the way to the emergency room, I was berating myself for not using the right tool for the job again. And then when I was told it was going to be 45 minutes to see the doc, I continued to think about how stupid I was for getting myself into this mess, you know? So that train of thought definitely increased my stress, okay? So I get into the triage section with the nurse, took my stats, and of course, my blood pressure was very high. The nurse says you have to lower your blood pressure before you see the doctor. And I'm pointing to my hand. Can't you see I just sliced through my hand? Of course my blood pressure is so high. Right? She calmly says, let's lower your blood pressure. Take a deep breath. So I took a deep breath. I changed my thinking while she took my blood pressure a third time. I stopped beating myself up for using the wrong tool. I stopped criticizing the nurse for stating the obvious about my blood pressure. I stopped thinking about how much it hurt. And I took that deep breath. And I just thought one word over and over. Relax. 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 And when you know it, my blood pressure went dramatically down to a normal rating. And what was I relaxing into? It wasn't just the word relax. The other big takeaway from the book is that scientific studies show that when we feel loved, we heal. So I relaxed into love. I relaxed into that high vibration of oneness with God. You know, that was one thing that I really enjoyed about our meditation with Kitty. I don't know if you were here. It was a laughter meditation. It was like laughing. When you're done laughing, you're relaxed. You're energized, but you're relaxed. There's a healing that happens with laughter. And thank you, Kitty, for that. So Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, he believed that love is at the center of everything. He said, because I believe love is the center of everything, Therefore, I accept love as the healing power of life. Love opens the way before me and makes it perfect, straight, and glad. So in the emergency room in Kaiser, Lancaster, I had a real, definable demonstration that stressful thoughts originating in my mind damage my body functions, creating high blood pressure. And then I had a real demonstration of how, when I called forth positive, loving thoughts from my mind, my body responded immediately with a healthy body function of low, normal blood pressure. This wasn't an airy-fairy thing, that we think we're demonstrating, because thoughts change our lives and all that. It was, I had the blood pressure cuff on, and my blood pressure went down. Real demonstration of how the mind your body responds to your mind. It's not airy-fairy. This really works. Our teaching really works. So I stayed in that relaxed, loving consciousness as I got 7 stitches. That was on a Wednesday, and I healed through the week and a half until Monday's practitioner class. I'm part of the teaching team for our practitioner class down at Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills. Yeah, but my fingers were uncomfortably sore, and I felt like I wasn't healing. So I asked for treatment from one of the practitioner students, as we do in every class. We give them lots of practice. I presented my issue about the numbness and my soreness in my stitched fingers. And the next day, deciding I'd continue from my successful experience in the emergency room, I relaxed into knowing that I'm living God's life and that divine right action is taking place. Now, I had an appointment on Saturday to get the stitches out, but they were just really bothering me. The next day, after the spiritual mind treatment, I was at the high school I work at, and I got up to go walk into the lobby to talk to security, and I see a parent coming through the gate, and this woman I know, she's a friend of mine, she's also a home health nurse. So I thought I would just show her my fingers and say, they were hurting me. She looks at it, and she says, those stitches have to come out right now. Oh. I said, I have an appointment at Kaiser on Saturday. That's going to be too late. Then she says she actually has the sterile suture removal kit in the car. And she's going to go get it, and she's going to get the stitches out right away. So did I tell you that this parent, she knows me? Because I know I was thinking about taking them out myself, but you don't want to do that, right? But here it was. I just really relaxed into this, knowing that God is loving me and everything's going to get taken care of. And it turns out that the pain I was feeling was because the stitches had been in my hand too long. And now I have full mobility. Wow. Was it a coincidence that I happened to walk out in the lobby when she was walking through? Was it also a coincidence that she had this sterile suture kit removal in her car? Nope. I believe that's because I was patiently relaxed into trusting God. I was in the right frame of mind to accept God to take place. Yeah. That is a successful prescription for healing. Relax into divine love, get real, and heal. Now, I've been in this teaching for almost 2 decades now, and I constantly hear, and I'm sure you've heard this, change your thinking, change your life. And what's in your consciousness outpictures in your life. When I stay in my head, I can hear Ernest Holmes from the Love and Law saying, here's the way to do it. You're not dealing with conditions, you're dealing with thought, and nothing else. Thought and spirit. It depends upon what we think, what we shall become. So the sooner individuals who are seeking to operate this principle will realize that it depends only on what they think and depends upon nothing else. And the sooner they learn to depend on nothing else, the sooner they will demonstrate that principle. I've been told time and time again that spiritual mind treatment has more power and subsequent success when in doing our treatment work, we identify ourselves more with the absolute God, love, whatever we choose to call the one higher power. I was told that there is one life. That life is the life of God, and I live that life. I don't know if you're familiar with Joel Goldsmith. He's also a big New Thought writer. In particular, he just pounds that home, talking about how easy it is for anyone who really believes that we are one with God, that we are living God's life, that all is well. You know, I know that, I think that honestly scares people when they come into Science of Mind. It did me. When I started my spiritual journey in this teaching, my concept of God was an angry, judgmental, distant God. Who wants to be one with that? Right? So all of this talking about being one with God is going to heal you. I'm like thinking, oh my God, I don't want to be one with that. Gee. Oh, it was only until I started to relax around the absolute God, love, that I could bring spirit inside from the outside. And I also admit that I have fallen prey to what we call the Science of Mind guilt. So here's how that goes. If there's something wrong with me, it's my fault, because I wasn't thinking right. Or I wasn't diligent in purifying my consciousness, negative thoughts. Now, I know you guys have never done that, but I have felt that guilt, okay? It's never helped me when I've gone to a practitioner for any issue, and the practitioner says, well, you created this. Let's see if we can get you out of it. I mean, so when they say that the secret's not so much in what we say as in how convinced we are that the words we speak are true, I was like, rah, 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 yay, God. But down deep, it was more like, not me, not me. I had the Science of Mind guilt going on really bad. But in the 2 decades that I've been in this teaching, through developing a spiritual practice of meditation, I was able to realize that God is not all those limiting beliefs that I put on it. Once I got clear, as Emerson says, love and God are synonymous, it was easier for me to believe I was one with that lovingness. So I know last time I was here, you guys all laughed when I talked about relaxing into the hot tub of God's love. But I'm telling you, relax into the hot tub of divine love, because if we can get that relaxed into never doubting that God has our back, that this loving God, that we live and breathe God's love, then we can start to see the evidence of that principle working in our lives. We need to be gentle with ourselves, in loving ourselves, allowing God, not beseeching God, this distant, judgmental God outside. No, loving ourselves. We get so comfortable with God that we can imagine ourselves inviting the divine into this relaxed hot tub of your consciousness. Yeah, can we try that right now? Just sit in a dignified posture, close your eyes, breathe deeply in, breathe deeply out. Continue to breathe in love and breathe out love. Right now, let's focus lightly on your eye area. See if there's any tension there in your eyes, without any analysis or judgment. Relax the area around your eyes. Relax your eyes into love. Keep breathing. So now imagine yourself in that nice hot tub of God's love. Inside a spa or outside in a meadow, whatever's just perfect for you. The hot tub is just the right temperature. You're floating, you're not thrashing around in the water. Just invite love into your body. Relax. It's easy to feel healing when you allow the revealing of divine as you. This is the big R reality, this relaxed state of being with God. It's our default natural state of being. This is how we heal. Knowing God is our life. Okay, when you feel comfortable, you can open your eyes, but stay relaxed. Ernest Holmes says that all life is a state of vibration. But at the very center of this vibration, there is something that is motionless. Something which itself does not move, yet from which all motion must come. God doesn't move. God is always with us. but movement takes place within God. So this circulation of life takes place within God. It takes place within us. Now I'm happy because I feel that I really believe that I'm one with God, and I'm satisfied with knowing this loving God is something I want to be one with. But I'm comfortably relaxed in my heart. Not relaxed into a God that's far away, but one that's comfortably in my heart. So our spiritual practice, meditation, contemplation, spiritual mind treatment, it awakens us to the truth. And it kind of manages our perception of the past. When I experienced that pain and the confusion with my sliced hand, I did come to realize that not only me, but everyone I came in contact that day, we are all fundamental forces of nature, the essence of life. That nurse was the divine telling me to lower my blood pressure. The divine. So when we open our hearts to the awareness that we are this energy, that we are God in all of its infinite, relaxed nature, then we're not suffering. We may feel suffering, but we are not suffering. That's not who we are. The past is healed now, forever, right now. We're always in these rhythms of God, life and death itself. We're always in this flow of divine energy, God. We're united with this living essence that's God. And we feel good. Yeah. The infinite presence, love, in us is drawing to us new ideas, new courage, and visible realization of our wholeness. Divine love is expressing through us that it now draws to us everything we need to allow us to get real and heal. We walk in that charmed circle of infinite presence love. We are divinely irresistible to our highest good right now. Everything is really full of love for us. It's good. This good that is for us is just winging its way to us right now. And we can relax and welcome it, not set up a protection, a tenseness, a wall. We welcome our good. We are that perfect expression of love. We're radiating it right here in this center. We're this beacon of light from the Antelope Valley. And we find evidence of that life everywhere. We find evidence of that love in everyone that we see. And I can tell you right now, I'm seeing it. You guys are radiating love. It's very light in here. And the more that we talk about love, the more that we focus on it, the stronger it grows in our consciousness. And as we persist in thinking loving thoughts and speaking loving words, we bring into our experience that feeling of great love. From great love to greater love. God's infinite. We can feel love forever. We have no limits on how much love we can feel. We have no limits on how much we can heal. We live by this law of love. And love is now victorious. We fully and freely forgive ourselves. We loosen. We let go. We cast out all those judgments, resentments, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We put it upon the divine within to be dissolved and shifted and lifted. The more that we relax into love, the more we realize our wholeness, our divinity. We get real and heal. So please join me in consciousness in this prayer field right now. Just knowing that there is one thing in this life, God. Love, spirit, energy, divine essence. The one source of perfection is all that there is. All activity is God's activity. From the sunsets to the sunrises, from the wind, the rain, to brushing our teeth, to being of service. The high vibration of God permeates all of us eternally. It never stops. It is everywhere present, and it is the presence of us. It is the presence of each and every part of the creation. We are living united in this essence of God. And as this infinite divine expression, we let this divine love guide, direct, and inspire us. I declare that as we relax into love, we relax into that infinite presence of God, our bodies self-repair, it learns, and life happens naturally, easily, and joyously. We are powerfully healthy. Health, being that sense of well-being, now takes the form in whatever way necessary to convince us of the availability, the usability, and the satisfaction of perfect, powerful health now. I trust this loving universe within. We are one with this universe, so we ask ourselves, why can't we be healthy? We realize the answer to that question is that there is every reason to be in the glory of God, to be this healing presence, to be comfortable, essential health, to realize the best that can be. The same goes for creativity in all aspects of our lives. The place where we work, the place where we are of service, the place where we are giving our gifts. We are in this circulation of love eternally. And that this expresses itself in our creative endeavors, our job, our careers, the way we are of service. So any issues right now that seem to resist that divine love are dissolved. We allow them to move through us and exit. And when we take our eye and we look at where that was, we see that only we remain in love. Our creativity abounds and is healed right now. In our area of finances, we are in joy to pay our bills. We approach that check writing with a joyous, we feel good with our pen writing it on the check. We know that we have enough to share and spare, that we have tapped into that circulation of God's infinite resources, that God is our source, and it is infinite. We can't outgive, outspend, outcirculate God. We are in that presence. And so we allow that thought to just radiate across our finances, and we see the evidence of it. We see the evidence of the abundance in our finances now. All of our relationships as well. When we look into the face of all those that we relate to, whether it's our boss at work, our children, our spouse, our siblings, our mothers, fathers, everyone that we come in contact with, we see the face of God. We see the divinity expressing through them, and we feel it coming through, radiating out into this field of love. Our relationships are the outpicturing of God. And we allow that to be. We allow ourselves to see that now. And I know that all of us are on this beautiful spiritual path, that our spiritual meditation and our spiritual contemplation and our spiritual mind treatments all reflect this beauty that we are. Everything is in divine right place, and that we allow ourselves to be that. In gratitude for this truth that has set us free, I release my word to the law, knowing that it is done now because the creative medium of the law always says yes. And we can affirm this by saying, and so it is.